Greetings, this is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling. Today, we are playing this game right here. You've probably seen the other one that also is out there that has the leprechauns. Same basic premise on it. And we're starting with about $58. And this is a little bit higher volatility here. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a good session on it. You never know. Again, this is not a game that I would normally sit down and play for the long haul. So I think I've brought up on some other videos to where a lower volatility game, sometimes I can play for just hours and hours and hours. This one really, I have played the game. We've actually had a little bit of luck on this. My wife did. But it's not my type of game where I'm going to want to spend hours doing because of the volatility. You can't really get the points. And of course, that's what I play for, is to try to rack up the points, and there's just not enough bounce back, in my opinion, to get there. You can get lucky, like on all games, but it is what it is, and hopefully we're going to have a good session here again. The pots grow up. It means absolutely nothing that the pots are big there, but we are going to get some free spins and hopefully have a little bit of luck. So here we go. All right, well, that's a decent start to the day. That puts us in a better shape. As you probably have figured out, those little things with the money on it, they have to go from right to left all the way across. If you got those little blue coins or whatever the color the coin is in the middle of it, that does not count as connecting it through, unfortunately. Now, a lot of times when people are playing this game, they'll look at those pots, and the bigger the pots are, they'll think that that's the one that is about to hit. And those pots, as they grow, like a lot of the games, that is just for show. That is to get people to sit down, because the people who maybe don't know the difference looks at it and says, oh my gosh, that's really big, that's about to pop. And I've even seen some content creators come out and show that they're sitting at the game like they can't believe that it was left with all the pots so big. And I'm just here to tell you, it doesn't matter if they're pots, they're pigs, or whatever the thing is. They are not due to pop. Now, I am speaking from experience on that, because I've tried it before I was doing all this, when I was kind of learning what was what. I've sat down at games to where the pig, so to speak, was just at its breaking point, that raking bacon, and the eyes are gurgling around in his head, and feet can barely touch the ground. And I've played it for literally like an hour and a half without that pig popping, and losing more money than I planned to lose when I was first doing this. And that's no fun. All right, some good news though. We got ourselves a bonus. Let's see what we can do. Don't you love it there when you're betting 80 cents and you do a full bonus and you win 70 cents? I don't know who makes these games, but I think they could at least let you get your money back. Just my 2 cents. And I was only asking for another dime there as the minimum. Come on. And I see that, and it reminds me what I was talking about, the pig popping and taking an hour and a half. And like I said, it isn't like that was the only time I've ever made the mistake. But I feel like that when you get that point to where you're waiting for the longest time for something to pop, that when it does go, it's usually a terrible bonus, or nothing to what it should be. Because I remember, again, when I didn't really know what I was doing, I thought, well, wow, maybe it's building up cash to give something really big, and it has to make up for that. No, I do feel like, and I have absolutely no evidence of this, but I do sometimes feel like that after you get that seemingly bad one that happens, in a time or two after that, when it goes off, I feel like you're going to probably see a better one. So sometimes if I see a game that someone has left because they've been playing it and it pops and they're like, well, this stinks, and they're mad, I may slide over at that point with the pig or whatever it is that's building up and give that a shot to see if I can do a little better. Because I don't necessarily, again, games don't get hot or cold, but I feel like there's got to be some sort of minor programming in there that maybe we can kind of take advantage of ever so slightly. Really, these games are done for not to allow anything that we can do or the game can do to influence what's going on. But the thing, what you do have control over is yourself. And that's why when you're playing the games, what you can do for yourself to give you the best chance is to play the games, again, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But if you're playing like I'm playing, trying to get points, trying to be entertained for a long period of time, if you can find those low volatility machines and use that to spend your time to get the points, to get the free cruises, to get the hotel stays, I mean, that's a little bit of a gift. And if you can, if you get those wins on a high volatility game, if you're going to play it and you do hit that, get up. Yes, it is completely random, but when you're playing a high volatility game, it is really hard if you've got something good to get something else that's really good. It is not impossible. And that's why a lot of times you'll see, really, it seems like a lot of them, they'll do backup spins. After they've hit something big, they'll go ahead and they'll give it 2 or 3 spins to try to see if it'll hit again, if the machine's hot, so to speak, quotes hot. Now, this was actually the game, and I think I brought this up in another video too. This was the game that I was playing, but I was on a ship, and someone was trying to tell me that when you get that bonus that goes off there with the dragons coming down doing their thing, that you increase your chances of a better bonus if you slap the button quickly, which of course is completely false. Now, if you've been talking to somebody and you realize that they're not necessarily open to learning, so to speak, you just kind of, okay, because it doesn't make a difference. The game's pre-decided. So it really doesn't matter if you're slapping the button or not. So I went ahead and I just, for the sake of showing them, I started, hitting the button, stopping the reels. And of course it didn't do anything. And I said, okay, well, I guess that didn't work. I said, yeah. And they were doing the same thing. There was like, 3 or 4 people in their conversation. They were doing it, and it wasn't working there either. So, if you get it, you get it. And I did it the one time, and I was like, all right, I think I'll just, do it my way there and see what we can do. Oh, that was a nice hit for this game here. But yeah, I gave it my all. I was out there slapping the button, not hard because I don't want to break them. That's again one of those things they don't really understand is people slapping the buttons, because all it does is wear them out and break them. All right, well, we got a bonus. Let's see what we can do. well, we'll take the $10 as they come. This is one of those games that, oftentimes is busy. And I'm not really sure why. Like you saw this one here, I was doing the one that was to the right there that brings up the multipliers at the far right. But that's the catch. It has to go all the way over to get to that last multiplier, if there's a multiplier to even come up. So to me, it's not quite worth it doing all that. And, well, looks like we're going to do something here. Let's see what we can do. Come on, I'm just going to keep the sound down here and talk through this one through you. Because, again, it's got to go all the way over. The second one over doesn't have the mark. But we did pop that there, so we've got both going on now. The dragon will come down here. This one does come up. This is the one that's going to give you, the extra spins. And that spin will also count towards your goal there. There you saw the 3 times, but the middle one didn't have anything in it. So it was 3 times nothing. It didn't count. Only the things that are to the left, as far as that goes, will count towards your money. So a nice +2 spin, but again, the 4th lane there is nothing in it. So the good hits that are on the 5th one don't count. You don't get them. So we're at, I believe, 7 to 12 spins here, and hopefully we can get something more going on, because right now we've got 12 spins and $2.60. See, 3 times, but there's nothing in the first lane. Means nothing. That one there was a +1, but there's no money involved, so you really just get your spin back. Now, we need the red one to go off here, but unfortunately that doesn't look like that's going to happen. So it looks like we're going to end up with after 13 spins now, we got a little bit of money, but again, when you're playing for those bonuses, you're always hoping for something magnificent. And in this case here, we're going to take our $8.40 and I guess be happy. So again, we started with about $58, and I mean, we're up. I mean, I really can't complain there. It's been somewhat entertaining. And, again, you've probably heard me say this. If it's letting me play, I'm good. This one here, I would imagine I'll probably play 50 points and then call it. But again, I want to show how a game plays, and that's the reason I do these types of videos. The way that I do them is that way you get to see how it plays in full, rather than a 5-minute session and maybe not seeing all the different possible bonuses. Not that I'm always going to be able to catch every bonus, but I'm going to hopefully show you the general gameplay for any one of these games, to where you can have a good idea as to what to expect if you're going to sit down at this game. So I'd like to hear your feedback. I mean, this is on a lot of ships. It's in a lot of casinos. So I feel like this game is probably one of those that almost everybody has seen play. So have you played it? Have you tried it? Do you know someone that's tried it? What was their luck? What are your thoughts on the game? Because this is one session. Now, I've played it before, but again, it's always played as a higher volatility game, as you're seeing with these spins here. There's just a lot of open spins to where nothing's happening, and that is certainly one of the telltale signs of a high volatility game. Again, even the lower volatility can have those moments, but this is generally just how this game plays every time I play it. There's just not as much on there. Now, I say that, as you can see, I started with 58. I'm still at 71, so I'm pretty happy with the way things are going, and hopefully this will be a solid session for us to do it, because as you may have seen in that earlier video I played the one game, and I got 27 points on that, the Huff and Puff, the Builders one, where it kind of goes up in levels. I can't think of what they call it now. Builders and Company. And yeah, I lasted 10 minutes on $100 and 27 points and ran out of money. So yeah, if you're seeing those kind of videos, you know that's going to be a real high volatility game. And if you've been thinking that'd be fun, you can see how much fun I had in the 10 minutes it took to take my money. Once again, Bankroll is something to consider to see if a game's going to bounce back. If money is really no object to you there, and you're going to bet low, and you can play it for a longer period of time, a $400 or $500 bankroll, you may see a little more bounce back to that if you just like this game and want to play it. But again, I would not play this one at the high bet for sure. Now you can have, obviously, any one of these, you can have a good win, but if you do happen to hit that multiplier on one of those bonuses on some big numbers, yeah, you can hit. I mean, it can be pretty spectacular. And really, the one time when I played this thing, and my wife had gotten a hand pay, she was betting $8.80, $8.88. We were doing okay. She wanted to try it. She wanted to bet higher. Again, we were somewhat, I won't say new to gambling, but we weren't playing it and learning, taking the time to learn it. And we got lucky. I'm just going to tell you, we got lucky with a fantastic hit. And it's not, again, even with that hit, I still don't recommend this game. But if you got the bankroll and you don't really care about, the points, you don't really care about the wins and losses, you just want to have fun and you find this game entertaining, I can see that maybe at a higher bet that would be fun. But again, you really have to have the bankroll if you're even going to consider that, because it'll eat you alive. We're about that point. I started at this game and I had about $58 I put in, and here we are at about $58. So hopefully it's going to let me, get another bonus here and kind of get back on top. But I don't expect it, but it can do it. And I think that there's a decent chance here. We're going to be playing for a while. I mean, we got plenty of time left. Hopefully we can get our 50 points here and show you some more of the bonuses that they've got going. And, speaking of hand pays, that $1,200 mark, if you think that it's great getting a hand pay, it's a novelty, because I would rather get $1,100 than $1,300, because $1,100 isn't going to bring out the guy and filling out tax papers and all that. So keep that in mind when you're hoping for a win. You can win more but get less. All right, we got a bonus coming on. Let's see what we can do. All right, that'll help to piggy bank a little bit. I want to bring up just real quick, I talked about that I've got another channel that was going to be launched and really put most of the cruising stuff on that channel. That channel is now out, and it is called Enjoy Live Traveling also, but it's Enjoy Live Traveling and then Cola Cruising. And right now there's one video, a new video out. I'm going to probably put maybe one or two of the other videos slowly. I'll probably put slowly some of the other stuff that was on this one on that one as well, but I'm going to also have new content. So please, if you would take the time to go find that channel and like, subscribe, and if you're looking for that content, that's where you're going to find it, and new videos will be coming out soon. We will see you there, but we got plenty of time on this one, so don't go anywhere. We're going to hopefully make a little more money. Again, we are up just a tiny bit. We're about $10 up. But, I mean, it's given us some hits. We're playing. And while you are liking and subscribing to that new channel, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to this one when you're putting those comments in there and putting the thumbs up and watching it to the end. All that stuff really, really helps the channel. I know you guys hear this a lot if you watch the YouTube videos, but it does mean that much, and that's why you hear everybody saying it. So to take that extra few seconds to hit the like button makes a big difference. I mean, it really does. So if you would do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I can grow to where this is something that can be more of a permanent thing. I say permanent, but right now I'm losing money more than I'm gaining it, just because you have to play all these games. And even though I've had some decent success, when you're gambling, you're going to lose. I do get the free cruises, but you still have to pay for the port fees and the taxes. Got to get there, a hotel stay beforehand. So a free cruise, and I'm all for it, but also understand that a free cruise has cost involved. So it isn't quite as cut and dry as just, hey, I'm getting free cruises. And that's why you'll also hear me talk about, I try to string cruises together, because since I have that time, if I can do back-to-back type cruises, then I don't have the extra hotel stays. I don't have the back and forth to have to travel between home and the city, because I'm in Missouri, so I'm not right by a cruise port. And I've got that coming up basically in September. I have got 6 cruises in September, and only a 1-day interval in between to where I'll be from Fort Lauderdale in Tampa, and I'll be staying overnight. So, but other than that, it's straight through. And I may add another cruise on the end of that. I'm not quite sure yet, but that's possible that I'll add another cruise onto the end, and hopefully be able to get some more videos out. I'm wanting to really have a lot of content when it comes to Cozumel out there. I already have a lot of information about Cozumel, but there's more than just the main places, and I'm going to be going back several times. So you can really look for some content coming out on the new channel that will show that. And I realize that if you're watching this, that's maybe not what you're after, so I will try to get back to the video. But as you can tell, I've been able to talk just fine and have it not go off. Lucky me. Now, see, if that fourth one would have had something, that'd have been a solid hit. Instead, it's $2.50. So we'll take what we can get, I guess. Now, notice that it is at 80 cents. That is, on these videos, that is something I am maintaining. It's also something that I had heard from other people that watch, those other videos, because I watch them too, the people that do these, and they started out betting like this, and then they increased it to where they're betting, big bets, huge channels, big bets. And I don't want to become that channel. There's nothing wrong with it. I think they do a great job in their space, but I feel like that most people are going to be looking to not bet as much. And even if you don't want to do the minimum, because I get it. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the casino, and that helps with points is that time. Yeah, even if you're betting the second stage up or the third stage up, being on picking the right machines, a lower volatility game can make a huge difference. And if you're trying to hit giant jackpots as big as possible, that's probably not betting the minimum. Yet you can. That's what I like about betting it, is that you can still hit the grand betting the minimum. Why not do that? Because it's a long shot either way. It may be an increase, but how much of an increase if it's still an incredible long shot to bet all that money? So I guess if you got the money, fine. Also, when I'm doing these with the free cruises, I like an interior cabin. So I'm usually playing for the points that it would take to get an interior cabin, and this is important. So keep this in mind if you are looking for this type of information. If you get an interior cabin and think that you'll just pay for the upgrade to an ocean view or a balcony, you're probably not, because it isn't done like you see online, to where if you've won, say you win a free cruise, and if you look at the same one online that you're going to, that interior room, we'll say is $400 a person. Just doesn't matter what the number is of ship, but I'll use that. And it may show that the ocean view is only $100 more. So you call up there and say, hey, I've already got this free, or maybe you're just trying to book it at the time. Hey, I've got this interior room. I'd like to pay for an upgrade. I see online that it's only like $100 per person more. you're not going to get it for $100 more. It's going to be significantly more. And, as you go up into the balconies, it's significantly more. So if you are playing for those balconies, you're going to need a lot more points and a lot bigger bankroll. So I do think that's an important caveat that you guys need to know about, because if you're expecting it that you're going to get that balcony room on the 1,200 points or 1,500 points, you're not. You're going to probably need more in that 2,000 to 3,000 range to even start getting a few offers that show for balcony. So got a bonus. Let's watch it, see what we can do here. Okay, well, even though I had 12 spins, and I know I talked through a little bit of that at first, $10, $11, it's we're losing money now, but this is kind of keeping us in it a little bit. So $34 again. We started at 58. Hopefully, we can get something else going here, because again, if I'm playing for points, that's all I'm looking at is how far can I maintain it. So if this is a game that you like playing, or you like it, and say it's not available, but the Leprechaun one is, these are essentially the same games with a little bit different graphics, obviously, and doing leprechauns versus the dragons. So if you like the gameplay, you should be able to go between those two games on whichever one's available, and still get that same level of entertainment that you're seeing here. Again, they play the same way. The right ones give you the multiplier, the left ones give you the free spins. So again, don't let that disturb you unless you just love dragons and couldn't possibly fathom the idea. I am not playing with a leprechaun. So everybody's different, and if there's someone out there that's your thing, I'm sorry, but yeah, they're going to play the same. One of the things I really wanted to talk about with these games, it's prevalent on cruise ships, but you can do that at most casinos now, as you can set it up to where you have your credit card on file, and you can pull money directly from the machines. And I know that, say, on cruising, they call it, cashless wagering, I believe is the name of it. And that, to me, is a really difficult name for me anyway. I don't think it should be used because, yes, I get it that you're not putting bills in the machine, but yeah, if you lose it, you're losing your cash. It may not be that's what's physically on you, but your money's leaving your bank account. And so I would tell you that it is very, very easy to kind of get caught up in it and lose track, and doing just one more 100, and then maybe you start talking, I'll just do another 20 or 40. And then I'll just do another, I just did 40 and I want to play a little longer, so I'll just do 60, make it an even 100, because I was doing hundreds. And then, I'm saying, you bounce around, and at the end of the day, or in the end of the cruise, you can find out that you've spent more than what you had planned. So while, yes, I have used this feature, I think that if you've had issues in the past, I would tell you to just bring cash and do that. All right, well, we got a bonus. Let's jump over and see what we got. Okay, well, $4.40. I guess it gives us a little bit more ammunition to play. Again, started at 58. We were down in the $20 range. That doesn't necessarily mean that we won't get a hit and bring us back. We could get something really sweet here, and hopefully we will. But yeah, right now, it isn't that I'm not having fun, but again, because I think the game is fine, and I get people that like those graphics, particularly if you're hitting. I mean, like all the games, if you're hitting, you don't really care. But I think that there's, for my money, literally, there's other games that I would probably rather play. But if this was the one that was open, or maybe I just had a hankering, I gotta admit, I think like most people, you see all those pots that are big, and you want to sit down and see if you're going to get lucky. Just know that that is what it is luck. It isn't about to hit. But yeah, I've caught myself going, all right, well, I guess I'll play it. If I'm going to play games and they're right next to me, I'm usually looking at the jackpots that are up there for those that have that mini, minor, major, maxi thing. And I'm usually not looking at the very highest one, because that's such a long shot. I'm looking at the second highest or third highest, and I'm trying to see how that is in relation to the other games. So I'll usually sit down at the one that's got the higher there. That's a good hit. But if it's close, I'll probably go to the one that's got the one that the pots are full. It doesn't mean, again, that it's about to hit, but it does show just generally that it has been longer since it's been hit. And I say generally because you've probably been on these games to where it grows really quick all of a sudden, particularly if the last person that was on it was betting a little higher, and then they got up, and then maybe they weren't on it that long, but they grew it because they were betting $8.80 at a time, and then you sit down and you're betting the minimum, and it's not popping and not popping, and you're thinking it's probably been longer. Well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a situation to where the other person was betting at a higher level, or maybe just the game had ticked at times to where one of the little prompts that comes up to make it grow, it just does that. Because it behooves the game makers to have these things grow and give a false sense of it's about to hit. And I've fallen for it, even though I know better. I'll see it and I'll think, man, maybe this was played for a really long period of time from someone betting the minimum. Maybe I can make a difference, and I might do that on a lower volatility game. But I've been burned too much years ago to really fall for that on a higher volatility game. It's not about to hit. It's just about to take your money. Well, we are 34 minutes into this here. I am hoping that I will get to the 50 points before I run out of money. So hopefully that'll hit. But again, I'm trying to show you guys what the game feels like. And so I'm going to play it through all the way down, even if I'm losing. But that's another little piece of advice for you, is that you don't have to set a dollar amount. I've seen people go, well, I probably should get up now, but I'll just go ahead and play it down to, and they'll set a limit that's, I don't know, maybe they're at 358. I'll just play it down to 300. Why? When you're done, you're done. Now, in this case, I was able to get to the 50 points with $6.70 left. It was funny. I'm going to wrap up the video here. My wife wanted to go ahead and try to play it down and did not stop it there at the 50. It's like, well, it's $6. Let's go ahead and play it through. Yes, dear. So we went ahead and did that, and I just went ahead and plopped it onto this here so you can see what happened with our last bit of money here with a few minutes left. So a little bit of a hit. At this point, honestly, I'll be ready to go, but it's got a little bit of a bonus going. So like I said, we just kicked it on and thought we'd at least show the bonus. Hopefully we hit something, but this will be the end of it one way or the other. See those green things, those coins? All it was block the good stuff, but they make it look splashy like you're getting something good. If you're not. If they made that to where it helped connect all the dollars going across, it would. Now this game here, you notice it's changing the symbols on it, so it's a little different than some of the other ones. It was really one of the reasons I wanted to include it here. It didn't make a whole lot of difference. It was another $3, so It brought us back up to the 6. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.